Welcome back to Be Better Everyday Podcast. Today's a special episode because I'm sitting down with my granny to hear her stories and wisdom. So let's get into it. Hey, Granny.
Hi, Josh.
Are you ready for this?
Yes, I'm going to try it.
Yeah. You won't exactly you didn't know what you were getting into all the way, I don't think. But we're going to do it. So, I guess we'll just jump into it. Tell us where you were born and what your home was like growing up.
Okay, Josh. I was born in Morgantown, West Virginia, in the county of Montague County. And our family was happy. I had one of 7 children. My mother was living. My father was a school teacher. And they had both gone to West Virginia University, but my mother got sick and she had to drop out. And my first memories are being at the hands of my older brothers and sisters. And then this was the year of the Depression in 1938, 37, 38, 39. So we moved into the city of Morgantown, West Virginia. My father got a job with DuPont Chemicals, and going from a school teacher, he went to a crane operator down on the river and loading and unloading coal for the chemical plant. My mother got sick. She passed away right after we moved to Morgantown. So my younger sister, Naomi, was born, and my aunt and uncle took her because the older sisters had the responsibility of me and my 2 brothers and the responsibility of going to school. They were all in school. My sisters were in senior high school. My brothers were in the younger grades. And I was in the first grade. And so this worked out pretty good. Of course, I was the youngest. My brothers and my sisters liked to play little pranks on me. But I did enter first grade, and I had a terrible accident in my home of my pajamas catching on fire. And this, of course, was a long ordeal. I had to have skin grafts from the top parts of my legs to cover the bottom of part of my leg. So I was laid up for many months, and my sisters had to continue their education. So I went with and lived with my aunt and uncles in this time. One family lived in Ohio. One family lived in Wadestown, and with my grandparents. So this was a complete year that I could not go to school. And I had to go to different doctors. My one doctor that done the operation and took care of my leg, he was called into the military. And so I was transferred to a coal miner's doctor, and he was a doctor that treated all the men in the coal mines that got burns or injuries, and so he continued with me. And
so you were first grade. Was that like the 43, something like that?
Yes. Yeah. So I need to say I did have to repeat the same grade in school, and I had the it it didn't penetrate on me to be that I wasn't normal, that I didn't have the scars on my legs, but because I was getting all the love and attention from my siblings and from my grandparents and aunt and uncles taking me to church and making sure that I was loved and taken care of. Well, my father was fortunate to have his sisters and brothers that would stepped up and took care of me. And they took my youngest sister, and she continued to live with my aunt and uncle, Naomi Joyce. So she did not live with us. And so when I entered school, I just, felt normal because I didn't have anyone to object or to tell me that anything was different. But when they started seeing the scars on my leg, why, some of the my classmates made fun of me or just kind of didn't want to be around me. I guess they thought it was something that was catching. I don't know. But anyway, I when I got where I could walk and be on my own, and my older sisters, they would take me to church. So after they got married, two of them got married right after high school, I continued to go to church by myself. My father didn't go, and right after that, he remarried, and that was not a good situation. But I'm getting back to my church. I joined church when I was 12 years old. I went up to the altar by myself, and my Sunday school teacher, she went with me. And that's when I accepted Jesus Christ. And through the years, when I moved away from Morgantown or anything, the Sunday school teacher kept up with me where I was at. And when I would visit Morgantown, she had called someone in my family, sisters or someone, to say that she still was thinking about me. And she done that with all of her children that she helped at church. But the marriage of a stepmother wasn't, there was just too many problems. She didn't want any of the children to be there. She wanted us all to be gone. And she was very mean. But anyway, I made it through up to high school, up to the 12th grade.
So, what was your earliest memory as a little girl?
My earliest memory was, I guess I must have been about 2 or 3 years old, that Dad had some puppies. And I remember being outside with Dad and the little puppies running around. But too, I remember my oldest brothers and sisters, they scared me to death because we had a neighbor that had a white horse. And when they knew he was coming, they would take me out to the a little hill along the road and telling me he was a ghost. He's on a white horse.
So you didn't like that white horse,
No.
huh? So, when you were a young kid in Morgantown, what did everyone do for fun besides scare you with a white horse?
We pretty much just stayed in we had a big neighborhood, a lot of neighbors, a lot of kids, and we just basically on the weekends played football, and the younger ones would just do their little things. But we'd go to an apple orchard and ride bicycles, and when we got old enough, we could go to a funeral home that's right down the road from Dad's house, and they would let us go swimming in their swimming pool at the funeral home. But you just had to call and ask them. And
I'm sorry.
well, a few years later, like in the 50s, and we got a skating rink in Morgantown.
Oh, then y'all were
Yeah.
skating it up,
Yes.
sock hopping it up.
Yeah, my sister Mary Jo had, like I say, she left home. Noreen left home and Mary Jo. Everybody left home, down to me.
Yeah.
I left home when I was 18.
Well, how many siblings did you have? And you had a pretty big age gap, right?
Yes. My brother John was 2 years older than me. And then on that, Glenn was like 2 years older than John. And then Mary Jo, Noreen, Eileen. Eileen lived in Morgantown. And she was married when the man she married was in the military, and then Eileen went on to she went to college, went on to, not right away, because she had to get catch up on her education, and so, and my sister Noreen was an artist. She was the oldest. She was an artist, and she had a scholarship to the art school in Huntington, West Virginia, I think it was.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
How much older was she?
She was the oldest. She must have been about 10 years older than me.
Yeah, that's a pretty big age gap.
Yeah.
Especially when you're 8 and she's 18. Yeah, that's pretty big.
And then Mary Jo, she finished high school. She worked in Morgantown. She was a interior designer, and then years later she started on the pictures. But yeah. And Glenn, like I say, all of my brothers just left home because it was just too unbearable, and they're just, the boys didn't want to be under her domination.
Yeah. I mean, it happens sometimes, doesn't it?
So Glenn went to Blacksville, lived in Majostown with grandparents, and he went directly to the military from high school. And John went directly to the military from high school.
Yeah, it would have been around that time where
Mm-hmm.
most guys would have went.
Yes.
I think it was funny when, we started staying at Mary's house and how close it was, because she lives behind the funeral home that you brought up.
Mm-hmm.
She lives directly behind it. And then showing Nate how it's always a joke, you had to walk uphill both ways in the snow to get to school, but you really had to do that. It was
Yes.
literally uphill both ways.
Yes.
You had to cross the bridge and then go uphill, and then when you came back, as soon as you crossed the bridge, you had to go uphill to go back home. So you actually lived the uphill both ways in the snow, in the rain.
Yes.
I thought that was, we always get a kick out of it every time we see that. Are there any smells or sounds or tastes that take you back to your childhood? Pepperoni rolls?
Yeah. Yes, a lot of them. My sister Mary Jo, she was the one that had the red hair. Mary was wondering about the red hair. She was very creative. She would take me and my two friends, our age. Of course, Mary Jo was 6 years older. She would blindfold us and set us in front of the spice cabinet. And then we were supposed to guess what she was giving us out of the spice cabinet. Needless to say, you had everything, baking soda, and mother had a spice cabinet full, when we moved. But that sure upset our stomach. And then the next smell would be a rose, black pepper. She put pepper in roses and then would have us to smell them. So I don't know. I think we were
Did you get pretty good at smelling spices, though?
Yes.
If you could describe yourself or your younger self in 3 words, what would they be?
Patient, loving people, and standing up for people. Because I got myself in trouble in school for standing up for the young, the ones that didn't have friends, and they always picked on them. And I think that came from me having my leg burnt and just knowing the feeling of being rejected.
That's how I would describe you now.
Well,
So you kind of kept true to that.
yes. My first time was Catholic boy. Back then, they were there was a lot of segregation. Even my father didn't want to associate with Catholics or the Italians, But the boy was in my grade, and the other boys just picked on him, because he was Catholic. And I jumped in the middle of it one time and got put out of the room.
Yeah, for standing up for a Catholic.
Mm-hmm. And needless to say, when we got in senior high, and like I said, always had to walk to school. He was walking to school, to the Catholic school, and I had the privilege of walking with him. And he went his way, and I went mine. And that's the last time I saw him.
Yeah. When you, in your childhood, was there a time you used to feel fully free, like the whole world was open to you when you was out exploring or whatever?
Yes, when I left home. I left home when I was 18. go back to the situation just wasn't good. My father just didn't have, I don't know, the backbone to step in and defend us.
So you were kind of trapped until you were 18.
Yeah. After Mother died, I'm interested in sports now. I think back, and it originated with after Mother died. Dad loved to listen to the sports, so we had the radio. We didn't have a TV yet. We had a radio, so he would sit and listen to the radio. So I would stand beside him or get on his lap. But I remember my papers, and he taught me how to keep score, baseball and football. And by being interested in doing things when I had my leg burned, like making little pot holders or different things, I started scrapping books with the university teams and looking in the newspapers, for their clippings.
That's pretty cool.
But the books burnt up when our house burnt up.
So, how did the fire happen?
It's the first house Ted and I lived in after we were married. I didn't say we were married in high school, but we were. But I lived with my sister Eileen after I left home. And, but to back that up, I had a newspaper. My brother John had a newspaper route, and he wanted to leave home. So I told him I'd take the papers and deliver them so Dad wouldn't know he was gone. So I kept the paper out. So I ran papers before I went to school. I would do my route and come home and do my shower or in the tub and run on to school. So this went on for several months. But then I met Ted, and he would come and take me around on the route.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was out doing work for his dad to curry ponies for the coal mines before he went to high school. So, needless to say, when I left home, I threw the papers over the hill and left home. And what was the question?
We can do the next one. So you talked about it a little bit. How was the rest of school for you?
It was good.
Yeah, just normal.
Yeah.
Normal kids and school stuff. Did you have a favorite teacher or subject while you were in school?
Yeah, I have to say I had a lot of good teachers. Yeah, they took time with you, and they knew what children were about.
Well, did you have a favorite subject?
Yeah, phys ed.
Yeah.
No, I liked history.
That's a good
history
one too.
And
I like both of those too.
Yeah.
Phys ed is always the funnest.
Yeah.
You always get to do the most stuff.
Yeah.
I hated sitting in classrooms, so I liked phys ed too.
Yeah. But when I finished, when I dropped out of high school, Ted and I had got married. And Teddy was on the way.
As a young girl, when you were in school, what did you dream about becoming?
I'd done a lot with art in junior high school in the 7th, 8th grade. And I just wanted to go out and be involved with my church. And I was a 4-H. I was in a 4-H group, and I got my certificate in that I could be in a 4-H leader. But I just wanted to be involved in something to help people. And
Sound like me now.
yeah.
So, the next section, how did you meet Pop? Just in high school? Just randomly?
No. His mother worked in well, back then they called them joints, bar joints, or they didn't call them restaurants, but they did serve food. And after all of the employment left Morgantown, Morgantown had all kind of industry, shirt factories, the coal mines, but they had so many jobs, and then the women, just had to find jobs where they could. So that's where she got a job, and he was in high school also. But my friend Eloise and I would catch a city bus, at the intersection where she worked, and he saw us, and he'd wave, but didn't really know him till Eloise and I skipped school one day. We went up to his school. They say, up on the hill, and I knew one of his friends. One of the friends that I went to school with had transferred, but that's basically.
And he started chatting it up.
And he said, well, we told him we were from Clay Battelle High School. So he said he had to go to class then. He said, come on, you're going with me. And Eloise went with the other friend. And the name of the class was Preparation for Marriage.
That's pretty good.
So.
What grade was that?
Senior high.
Oh, in senior?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
12th grade.
So,
needless to say, I could not date him. He went up to talk to my parents, but my stepmother said no way. And she threw a dish of ice cream at him.
Just no.
No. So.
Well, my next question, what was dating like back then?
Well, for me, it was sneaking around. But we had the dances at school, and the boys, had their automobiles then. They were starting to be able to drive to school back in the 50s.
Yeah.
And but they had noon dances, and like in the 9th grade in the junior high school, was having a dance at noon, and like I said, I wasn't in the crowd. I was always on the outside of the circle. I had girls that would speak to me, but I was not in the crowd. And so I was having a dance, noon dance. And my sister Mary Jo had started dating a young man, Gary Stone, from Morgantown High School. And she was in her last year. But he showed up, just visiting. And he saw me and he said, he stopped and, how are you? And they started playing dance. He says, you want to dance? So I had the privilege out there on the floor with the high school boy, and those girls just they wanted to be my friend after that.
Yeah. What lessons from back then from like heartache or loss or love did you learn back then that still carried with you to today?
I think the heartache was losing mother, not getting to know my mother. But as I said, I got the love from my grandparents and my aunt and uncles that I had lived with. And what's the question?
What lessons did you learn from it and that stayed with you?
Just the way they handled, the women handled themselves, how compassionate they were, and just in everyday life. They didn't do any real great things. They were educated women, but later in life, though, like Aunt Ada, she would preach at the church at White Creek if the minister wasn't there, and she was still doing that. And but they were just loving people. Yeah.
And that definitely stuck with you, huh?
Yeah.
I would definitely describe you as a loving person.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you what your first job was, but I guess it was taking newspapers around. It was your first job?
Paying job, yeah.
Yeah.
$18 a week. Yeah.
Probably wasn't too bad back then.
No.
Yeah.
You could do a lot.
Yeah. You said $18 for a week. I was like, oh, that's probably not. It probably wasn't that bad back then. So now we're going to get into like some different type of questions. So it's like some about your family and your kids and stuff. So I guess describe, how many kids you had and stuff like that before I get into them.
It's 6 children. 6 children and 1 miscarriage.
So what was a typical day like raising 6 kids?
It was hectic, but it wasn't. I mean, I always had someone to help me when first child was born, one of the grandmothers or aunts, somebody would come and stay with us for a week or 2. But it's just a normal taking care of the children. I mean, you just had to learn to adjust. And because there's always one of them, sick but there's very few years that it was just normal us because we always had someone living with us.
Yeah.
My sister came with her 4 boys.
Oh, so you needed more kids, huh?
Yeah. So when all my children were born, you put 6 kids and 4 kids together. But it worked out. It was the time, where you didn't have what children have now.
Yeah.
You didn't have the Facebook and all, the electronic gadgets. We didn't have any of those.
Do you think it helped a family be more of a family back then?
Oh, yes, definitely.
And it seemed like the it takes a village mentality was just what everyone had.
Yes.
It sounded like. I mean, even when you were a child, it take the village. It takes a village
Yes.
mentality. Everyone stepped up.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
I learned a lot by watching people. And I think that goes back to like when I had my, like I say, way back when I had my leg burnt. And I just learned to, watch my grandmother. And, yeah.
Do you ever think, why'd I have so many kids?
I won't say why.
Like, oh, what are we doing?
You have to talk to Pop about that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, do you ever felt like you sacrificed your own dreams for all that?
No, I don't. Because there were so many ways and avenues that I could help people or, be interested in people. And even like fixing a Sunday dinner and have people come in, but missionary, I did always want to go into missions.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you had your own little mission camp.
Yeah.
With 6 kids. I mean, there probably wasn't a lot of time to even think about, that many kids. What was the hardest decision you ever had to make, and how did you find the courage to make it back then?
The hardest decision, I think when the children and I had moved to West Virginia, although it was a good experience for them, the children, they loved it up there, but it was a sacrifice that we made.
Yeah.
On behalf of the situation with Ted.
Yeah. I didn't bring up any questions for that, and I don't know if you want to talk about it like at the end afterwards, because it's a really cool story, or if you want to talk about it now.
Yeah.
All that. I mean, the mic is yours. If you want to talk about it now, or if you want to wait and talk about it.
Well, yeah, I'll talk. Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it then.
Ted became a policeman in Newport News, and we had moved. Well, he loved to move. We came to Williamsburg first, right the summer after we were married. His cousin promised him he would send him to butchering school.
So that was like, you were like still 18?
56, yeah.
So you were still 18, moved from West Virginia to Williamsburg.
Mm-hmm. New land, yeah. But that didn't work. His cousin didn't get him set up, right away. So Ted went and got a job on his own, and that was delivering for the seal test, delivering milk. Seal test milk.
He liked jobs, didn't he?
Yes. So that gave him an experience because he was able to go on the base at Yorktown, the ammunition. He delivered milk in there, and an MT would ride with him, and then he delivered milk to the university, William and Mary. So he got, to help him a lot, he got more education.
Yeah.
And then somebody talked to him about working on a plantation farm up in Toanna. So he went from being a milkman to working on a foreman on a plantation, potatoes, watermelons. So we moved there.
So at this point, how many kids did you have? Just one?
No, had 3.
3? By the potato plantation time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it went from there to Newport News?
Yeah. Yeah. Terry was born in Hampton Hospital. And Cindy was born, was she Williamsburg Hospital? It was, I'd have to get my paperwork out and look at it.
Well, you had so many, it's hard to keep track.
But from the potatoes, he went to be a policeman.
Yeah.
He took his GED test, and he became a policeman. And he got involved with some higher officers, detectives, and sergeants. And needless to say, they were doing illegal things. And I don't know how it was set up. Whether they were places that were broken into, then they would go and take stuff. I don't know, take money. I don't know what to. At that, I didn't. It was not revealed to me. A lot of stuff that happened, but I know. But he got arrested. He got caught. So he was in jail for 4 months because they had detectives looking, watching these 2 detectives that Ted had gotten involved with, 3 detectives really. So then there was Ted and another patrolman, 2 patrolmen that had got sucked into it. So Ted was the first one caught, and he was in jail 4 months. He would not turn state's evidence, so they wouldn't, you know.
But all the other stuff that
give him
goes into the story too is
yeah
pretty incredible and pretty high up.
Yeah.
If you read into the articles and everything.
Yes.
Like I pulled up before for you.
And I did not get any income or anything. No, they wouldn't give me welfare. And then when he turned state evidence, I got welfare. And but there was 3 lieutenants. Then there was 2 other patrolmen that were friends of that Ted and I had befriended. But 3 patrolmen and 2 lieutenants. But I have the I never did show you his. I'll show you that.
I mean, based on some of the articles I read, there was a lot of petitions to get him out. Because what did he end up just serving, like 10 years or something like that?
8 years.
8 years?
But
the guy who was writing the articles about him ended up going missing.
Yes, he wanted to write a book about the situation, and he disappeared. But then the one detective hung himself in jail, and then Ted it was time for him to start the trials, and needless to say, I didn't know, because I couldn't be in the courtrooms at any time. They would subpoena me to testify, but then they'd make me sit in a room and I wasn't there to testify. They just wanted me to not to get in the courtroom. So they more or less controlled him.
What happened?
And they felt it was getting too dangerous for me and the kids, that there's some threats had come in. But after he turned state's evidence, we could go. I could take the kids down and sit in the lieutenant's room office, and they'd bring Ted down. We didn't have to go into the jail. But then, like I say, the decision to go to West Virginia was kind of a thing I had to do, more or less.
Yeah. You and 6 kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
During that time, did you, learn that you were stronger than you thought?
Yes. Yeah.
Was there a time that you thought about giving up? And if you did, what kept you going?
No, I mean, in between all of this, like I say, my sister, Mary Jo, and her 4 boys, they lived with us 2 or 3 times. So she showed up again. But this time she showed up with her husband, her new husband. And, but I had a lot of support. I had 3 women at the church that were good friends. The one at the church bought Grandma Teach's corner cupboard, and the girl lives at, I don't know if she's still alive now, but in Seaford, Virginia. But like I say, I had a lot of support, but still a lot of aggravations at times. And not knowing, not being able to know really what was going on.
Do you think that's one of the sacrifices you made that made you who you are now? Or do you think that you were already that person when it happened?
I had to have been 3/4% because
was that one of the moments that changed your life forever? Because I think you've had a bunch of those moments.
Yes. Yeah, with well, the first time that when Ted became the police officer, my sister Mary Jo and her boys came and lived with us. But she had an 18-month-old, and he got sick, and I was in the hospital with him when he died. And then we transported his body back to West Virginia to bury him. I don't think I didn't have enough time to to really dwell on things that weren't present, things that weren't happening right then was my main object.
Yeah. Well, what is it? It's like life's the only thing that's lived forward, but you only can realize what it was about, and when you look back on it.
Yes. The thing I remember people and things and places, but the actual language, the actual things that were said, what the conversations were. Except when I took a gun away from my sister, she was going to shoot her husband. But I just, to talk to my children, to discipline them, we went for a ride. Every time I said, we're going for a ride, they couldn't jump out of the car.
Well, with some of yours, you probably took a lot of rides.
And I wrote a lot of notes. I put notes on the table. There'll be a meeting tonight at 6:00. So they would go around and say, what'd you do? What'd you say? And I learned how to do things where I wouldn't have to keep yelling at the children. If I had something that I'd made something for dinner or for Sunday, I would put toothpicks in that, whatever was in the refrigerator. I'd have a little note on the top of it, or I'd have something to identify it. They weren't to touch it, and they wouldn't. And so I'd done a lot of note.
What are some of the other big moments that changed your life forever?
Oh, goodness.
I mean, you got being burnt as a child,
Yeah.
mother passing away,
Mm-hmm.
husband going to jail. I mean,
Yeah. I think that when I really got to see Ted's, the paperwork and the request that so many people wrote, the letters that they wrote, and the words that these grown men wrote to the governor, and they put their feelings out there, and just, of course, the women too, a couple women. Eileen wrote a letter. Debbie wrote a letter for his petition. But I still carry that in my heart. When I reread them, I look at them to know that these people, these men, put their signature. They were not just ordinary. One was Diamondstein. He was something in the Senate.
yeah, there was a couple. I think there was a couple senators, and that
Yeah,
guy from the House of Representatives, I think, was on the list.
yeah. But to read that and to say their names, that still stays with me. The kindness.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Other big moments that only a few people can relate to is losing kids.
Mm-hmm.
You've done that.
But I am so happy and so grateful for my grandchildren. And being able to see all of my grandchildren and to love them and to tell them I love them. My dad never said that words. He never said I love you.
Well, I think that was
That was
kind
just
of
the fact that, yeah.
it's generational.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why those guys writing those letters stick out to you so much.
Yes.
Because, that was a thing that you didn't do back then.
Yeah.
Shoot, it's hard to do it nowadays still.
When Dad was real sick, and I went to West Virginia, and I went into the hospital, and I started crying, and I laid I laid my head on his chest. I said, "Oh, Dad, I love you." And I cried. And then when I stood up, he said, "Now you feel better?" He couldn't say I love you. But to have the, like I say, to have the privilege of seeing my, openly be able to freedom to see your grandchildren, your children. My stepmother took that freedom away.
Yeah.
I mean, she was mean. She taught me how to be mean. That's why I left home. I told Dad, I said, he can't lie to you, but I can lie to her.
Yeah.
I said, she taught me how to lie, cheat, and steal. Because it's not funny, but that's what I felt I had to do to survive, maybe.
Well, that's like one of the things that I try to tell Nate is a lot of times people don't mean to hurt you. They just literally are trying to survive, to get to the next day. And I think that we kind of lose that. We don't think about that because we're so busy trying to survive our day that when somebody else wrongs us, we don't realize that they're just trying to survive, their day too. But what's one of the biggest difference between the world you grew up in and the world today?
I think it's the people not being interested in each other, not showing that deep feeling, that deep love, or because we had to depend on each other because we didn't have the electronics. We didn't have TV.
Well, yeah.
In the 50s.
And I agree with you. I think there's a more shallowness to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's so surface level.
Yes.
People post their pictures and that's how you keep up with people.
Yes.
But you don't have a conversation like this with somebody.
Yeah.
And get to know more about them. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
My sisters could write lovely letters, long letters. Noreen, she moved to Tennessee and she'd write letters to Dad and and send cards. But she would write long letters, what the family was doing and everything.
Yeah, it's something I've been trying to do lately is like when I think of somebody or I'll call her or call them or text them.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do a better job of that because I agree with you. I think that's something that's kind of lost. And I have this idea like, how like each generation, like they say their world's ending, the world's going to end. And I think it's true because I think the world you grew up in is dying, is ending, and it ends a little bit more each day, and then eventually my world and everything will end, and then it'll be Nate's world, and then it just keeps going, and I think it's a true saying, you know? And if you could pass down one tradition or value from your time to the future, what would it be? Or you can split it up. What's one tradition and then what's one value?
The tradition would be family or close friends. Just be in contact and truth.
Those are good ones. All right, I'll lighten it up a little bit. What's the funniest or craziest thing that's ever happened to you?
The funniest. The craziest.
The craziest. We don't have. We're already at an hour. I don't think we have it.
Well, I never. This isn't the funnest, but I never drank any alcohol. Never tasted. But after we were married, Ted's brother Jim thought that I should have something to drink. And needless to say, I got drunk. And then the next day, I had to go in town, Morgantown. This is when Teddy was a baby. I had to go in Morgantown to go into the Five and Dime store. And I was really feeling bad. And I ran into my sister, Eileen. She says, "What are you doing? And what's wrong with you?"
They weren't used to seeing you like that, huh?
I'd never.
Did that teach you a lesson about drinking?
Yes. And Eileen, when Eloise and I tried smoking, was in the backyard at Morgantown, the house, and we just got the cigarettes lit, and Eileen walked through the corner of the house. She said, "What are you girls doing?" I said, "Don't you ever go home?"
You took you overate a couple gummies?
Yeah.
Did you do that?
I did that.
Instead of a half at a time, you took 1.5. You learned a hard lesson that night, huh? What's the most rebellious thing you've ever done?
Rebelling against my father, my stepmother.
Yeah.
But I wasn't rebelling against him, it was her.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
When I left home. But there was a lot of things before that. We wanted to go to the high school dance that winter that I met Ted. And we asked Margaret. She said, no. She had a big, long lecture. So I took my dress. I had a dress. I took it to school. And my home ec teacher, she washed it and ironed it for me. She didn't turn me away. She washed it and ironed it for me.
That's a good teacher.
And I had it ready for me at the end of the day. And I went to Eileen's and
got ready for the dance?
Got ready. And we went to the dance, yes. And Ted was from University High. I was Morgantown High. And doggone it, we were crowned king and queen of the dance. So
that wasn't even his school, right?
No. So I learned how to do mean things and devious things.
I wouldn't say that's a devious thing. I would say that's a kid being a kid thing. I mean, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I have too. Yeah.
If you could eat your favorite meal right now, what would it be?
My favorite. Deep dish pizza.
Ooh, I like that. I'm on board for that. We getting deep dish pizza afterwards now?
Yeah.
If you could relive one ordinary day, which one would it be?
One ordinary day.
Or any day.
Any day. Well, it would have to be when Pops and I would just do things together. That even if it was going to work on a motor, and he'd take me with him, or delivering of alpacas, he would take me with him. Just the nearness and the closeness. And like I say, working on motors or anything with him.
Yeah.
Because that's always what we done ever since we were married.
He'll get you into some
The
stuff.
first time it was supposed to be a date. Of course, it was behind my stepmother's back. He took me home to his house to wash dishes and clean up the kitchen for him. So,
You just never knew what Papa was going to get you into, did you?
no.
Ever. All right, so I got some family questions, ones that I've gotten from some of the other people.
Who are they? Family members?
Yeah, they're all family member, all questions.
Oh goodness.
All right, so what's the best home remedies you still use?
Home remedies.
Yeah.
Ginger, powdered ginger in my coffee.
And what does it do?
For my, I don't know. Well, I forget what I started using it for. I have to think about it, but I still do it.
Yeah.
My sister and I, Mary Jo, she used to do it. Arthritis. That's what it was for, arthritis.
It helps?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's one place you want to visit?
One place I want to visit. I don't know.
Is there too many places you want to visit? You can give me a top 3.
Downtown Richmond, up on the hill. What's the name of that hill?
Churchill?
Yeah, up where you look down over the water.
Okay, yeah. Go up there and get some
Yeah.
proper pie and look down on the river.
Yeah.
If you could talk to anyone in your past, who would it be?
Anyone in my past. Well, I've lost contact with Eloise, but it would be Eloise. She came to our 50th
Yeah.
anniversary. It'd be Eloise.
If you could talk to anyone ever, who would it be?
Ever. I don't know. I'd like Jesus to come down and talk to us.
Was it better in West Virginia? Is
What?
another question.
Was it better?
Yeah.
It was, in a way. It was because the children liked the area we were in, like Clavertown and White Creek,
That's when you were living at
Yeah.
right beside the family homestead?
Mm-hmm.
And I learned what a holler was.
Yeah.
Because when you're down there, you're like, oh, I understand it. What skills did you learn as a kid that helped you throughout your whole life?
Learning how to do things with my hands, little scrapbooks, making pillowcases, learning sewing.
What was the favorite thing you ever made for somebody, and who was it for?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's the angels that I crocheted that Cindy had on her wall. I don't know if there's I think she has them somewhere else. That would be my favorite. They were crocheted angels.
What's your favorite baked good?
I don't know.
I know what the family picks. It's your lemon bars. What skill do you wish you knew sooner?
Sooner than when? Sooner than
Like a skill that you've learned throughout your life that you wish you would have knew.
How to be more forward and be able to stand in front of people and talk.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that, huh?
No.
Yeah. And then the last question I got from the family is about your faith throughout all your years until now.
No, they don't get none of my inheritance.
But yeah, they got a question about your faith.
My faith?
And how it's grown and changed from the time you were, what did you say, 12 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Till now?
I learned how to analyze situations. I look at them like, okay, I'll illustrate what came to my mind. I'm going to make a tuna fish sandwich. I get the pack of tuna fish out. I get this mustard, relish, ketchup. And I'm going to do it in a wrap. So I got to choose if I want all three of those, or just one, or none. And this is how I look at situations sometimes. Do I want the ketchup? Do I want that certain thing in this situation? Do I want the mustard? Do I want that in the situation? And when I wrap it up, will it be Jesus in the wrap? And will it be something that is pleasing?
Like when you, in a situation, you want to make sure the situation's going to be pleasing and full of love at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's all the family ones I had. So then I got one section left, and it's wisdom and legacy. What are you most proud of in your life?
That my heritage, that I was able to carry it through, that I was able to have children, and the legacy of my whole inheritance with my children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
And great-great-grandkids.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely have that. If life were a book, what title would you give it? If your life was a book? Which almost was.
Yeah. Yeah, we could still put some stories in there. And I had so many situations I was near to death myself, car accident, I'd have to think about that.
All right. Well, you can keep thinking about it. Um, what do you think the secret to a meaningful life is?
Knowing what Jesus wants you to do, knowing what it means to say, Jesus loves me. That was my basis, when I was, what I learned from church, what I learned when I was living with my aunt and uncles. They always said grace. They went to church. And that's that's where I think my base faith come from. Like I say, God saved me for some reason, because when my pajamas caught on fire, I could have burnt up.
Yeah.
But Eileen, she got to me first and took my pajamas off of and burnt herself, her hands. But we had a Christian lady that went to school, church all the time, lived right across the street from us, and Dad was at work. And they asked her if they could, and it was snow on the ground. They asked her if one of the men could drive her car to take me to the hospital, and she said no.
So how'd you get to the hospital?
I don't know. I don't know who took me. I can remember, being on the couch and all the people coming in. But they, yeah. And she lived there for years, that lady. But she never associated with any of the community.
If you could sit down with your younger self, what would you tell her?
Run.
I mean, that's pretty short and sweet.
Yeah. Do you learn to depend on your own self-worth and look at yourself that you're worthy?
I think that's really important.
Yeah. I always got up. This is what I learned by living with my aunt and uncles. I brushed my hair, I brushed my teeth and washed my face before I would go to the breakfast table. And that was the teaching I get that came from them. And then I'd do my hair, and then Aunt Lucy would put the clamps in my hair. But I think in my own thinking, that's where, I just, like today, I still do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think sometimes it gets lost. Like sometimes we get worried about being selfish and we forget self-care, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And self-compassion and self-love.
Yeah.
I think it's something that we should definitely work on more.
Yeah.
I got a few more questions left. Is there anything we didn't talk about that you want to share?
No, I can think of a lot of things.
Well, you got the microphone. And
Yeah.
I'm not rushing you off of it.
Yeah. Well, going back to when we got ready to go to move to Williamsburg, we were renting a house, and we had everything ready to. Everything was packed up, and we were at Eileen staying at her house all night because we broke down the beds and everything, and that house burned up that night. So when we went to Williamsburg, we had a wooden box on top of our car
Wow.
and a baby.
That's it?
And that was it. Few clothing, but we lost, all of our school stuff. And
Do you think people nowadays forget how resilient humans are?
I think so. Yes.
Because, I mean, if you look at, your whole life, you've just been resilient.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to God about that. But I know he's there. I know he's been there.
Yeah.
I know it.
I mean, before anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if I came up with this saying the other day, but it popped up and my head, and it just popped up again. It's I remember that I'm just made of stars, and too often I forget to shine, or don't remember
Yes.
to shine. And he was here before there were stars and dust.
I just read that.
Yeah.
I was reading that the other day.
I
I was reading Revelations. Yeah, I was.
What would you tell somebody when they're having a bad day?
Just stop and think about it and evaluate it. If there's something in that, at that time or that day that you don't need right then, just throw it out, put it on the side, and just deal with what you can.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be another day that you.
There's this saying I've heard a lot lately is you've already survived your toughest day.
Mm-hmm.
You've already done it. And it's like you forget sometimes. How can people be better every day? Like a small thing.
Yes.
What's something they could do to just be a little bit better every day?
Love themselves. Get up, when you get up, just say, I'm going to love myself today. I mean, you can't, if you get up and say, well, oh no, I got to go help this person, or I got to take something to this person, and do this and do that, and go to school and pick up the kid. But just say you're going to love yourself. Think of yourself when you're saying your prayer of a morning. Or what?
I like that. What do you hope people remember most about you?
That I was versatile, that I could do more than one thing, and that I did try to have open arms for anybody that would come to my house or into my life. I mean, I've had a few people that their last day, the next day they were gone. And I mean, I can, like Billy's cousin, Billy Bruce, his cousin, Chris. He came, he came to see Terry. But I got to see Chris and give him a hug, but he was gone the next day. So it's just, you never know.
Yeah, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
There's
so many, but I'm thankful that we had a open house for people, or they felt that they could come, stop by, or
yeah. I mean, you didn't even lock the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just walk in the back door, day or night.
The boys, Wesley and Trap, I don't know if they came through the skylight. I know none of these girls did. They come, and we weren't there, and they came through the skylight. But Mary lived with us, Mary Louise.
Yeah.
And Mandy.
Yeah, you've always been like that.
Yeah.
That's like all the questions I have. It's almost an hour and a half. We're right at 86 minutes.
You're kidding.
Uh-uh.
Gosh, and I got lots yet to tell.
Well, you can keep telling. That's just all the questions I had.
Oh.
You can keep talking.
Yeah. Well, and Ted enjoyed people. Ted enjoyed doing for people. And a lot of times he would step forward and do things or say things that he knew I was afraid to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you were a good team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He learned from me, I hope, but I learned a lot from him. Like I say, he work on cars.
He worked on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
No, if you don't want to share anything else, I just want to thank you for doing it.
I enjoyed it.
Is that as bad as you thought? Once I started setting stuff up, I could see your face getting a little bit more.
Yeah,
Your anxiety definitely was going up a little bit when I was setting up. Once I started pulling out microphones and stuff, I could see.
Yeah, I took my anxiety pill this morning.
Yeah. I mean, you jumped right at it. I told you to think about it, and you were like, no, I'll do it. And then I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I just hope you enjoyed it, too.
I did.
Yeah.
I just hope I, could put some truth. I mean, not put something out there that's not true.
Yeah. Well, I would definitely say that you're one of the most truthful people I've ever known.
It hurts sometimes.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's kind of life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an important lesson in life.
Yeah.
And, it builds your resilience. You're definitely a resilient person.
Yeah. But it gets lonely at times, with the big change of not having people around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ted and I had a nice big fight before he died. I called it. Did Cindy tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I called her on the phone one night. I said, I'm going to tell you what your parents are doing. We're having a big fight. I said, no, I'm going to lock my door. And I hung up the phone. I didn't give her a chance to say.
But
yeah. But we were blessed to have so many years and to have the family that we have. And like I say, we could write another book of crazy things that he done and had us doing.
Correct. Yeah, I think everyone could write their own
Yeah.
little small book of
Mm-hmm.
what Pop drug you into.
Yeah.
What, whatever. Oh, it won't take that long. And then next thing you know, you spent hours and hours drugged down into something.
Yeah, so, but the one thing that I've held on to, don't mean anything to anybody else but me, is our wedding rings and our wedding band. I just can't, in my heart, I just can't get rid of them. So I'm going to plant them somewhere. Because I was the only one that wore them.
Yeah.
I was the only person that wore those rings. And he was the only man that wore his.
Surprised you could find one to fit his finger.
Yeah, right. Well, he did have to quit wearing it when he caught his finger on something. But that's just something I can't get rid of, and I'm not going to.
Well, that's good.
Because that represents all my years. You know.
It was a lot of them.
And I don't know who gave him the money. His sister, maybe, to buy him. It was like $185 back then for 2 rings.
Yeah, what's that? In the 40s?
50.
50? Oh, yeah, 50s. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway.
Well, you definitely lived a lot of life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stories.
Yeah.
I think that's going to wrap us up.
Okay, till next time.
Yeah. We can do it again.
Okay.
I figured out how to do the video, so
Yeah.
it's not as bad as I thought it was. So we can definitely do it again.
Yeah. You don't want to put it out when I die.
Well, you think I'm going to wait? I think it's going to come out next Friday, so you'll be able to watch it next week.
Okay, we'll have an anniversary.
Yeah.
Follow-up anniversary.
Yeah, maybe we'll have more questions by then.
Mm.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you. And thank you for the birthday words.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to be better about that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I just think it's important, you know?
Yeah.
And like you said, something it's a lost today is everybody's so busy all the time. And I noticed over the last probably like 8 years or so, 5 to 8 years, something like that, some of the things that catch me the most off guard and, in a good way is when somebody tells you something that you didn't know. Like, I had a guy that I was working with, I just went to a party because he was moving to Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me how me helping him, how much he appreciated it. And I was like, what? And then he broke down all the ways that I went out of my way.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember this, but stuff like that. Or somebody who I sent a quote to, messaged me like a year or more later that like, hey, I wrote this down and I carried it in my pocket every day.
Yeah.
And I would, he told me that he would like literally reach into his pocket and touch the note.
Yes.
And it kept him going. I'm like, what? I was like, I didn't have, I was just sending out some encouragement.
Yeah.
And you never know.
Yeah.
The little things that you can do that make big impacts.
Yeah.
We don't see, we don't get to know our ripples.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's important to share.
Yeah. That's what Pops. I mean, he just always.
Yeah. And you too.
Well, not as much as him.
I wouldn't say that. You're the rock. He may have been out doing all the things, but you were the rock that he could stand on.
Yeah. So we were good for each other, I guess.
Yeah. Like, who knows if he didn't have you, He's a wild dude. Like, they should make a Netflix documentary about him and all his wildness.
But he loved to hunt. He would go out with his dad and set a fox hunter.
Yeah.
Sit at night and listen to the dogs. I said, you just sit and listen to the dogs? but he done a lot of fishing and hunting with before we got married. Yeah. And he took me to visit, introduced me to all of his aunt and uncles.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to meet my grandparents. And it's real handy having, your grandparents live right around the corner from one another. Yeah. You're making sweeps. Like, oh, you got to meet my grandparents.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I looked at those pictures the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it'd be really cool to ask you more questions, get to know you better. Get, let other people know you. That's why I called you and asked you. I thought about it one day on a walk, and then I was like, I let a couple of days slip by, and I was like, kept reminding myself, and I was like, I got to do it now. I got to call you, see if you want to do it. And I was super surprised how fast you say yes.
Yeah.
But.
Well, and two, you need to know some of your heritage.
Yeah.
Because all the men in that served in the military.
They didn't want me.
All of Dad's brothers and sisters were educated. And Ada, she was 18 years old, and she went out west by herself on a train. That was back in way back.
Yeah.
It was the first train track that went.
I think some of that explorer, find your fortune mentality is kind of lost nowadays,
Yeah.
Like, it still happens, but it's not like part of every, every story anymore.
When we moved back up to West Virginia, she had a farm on the other side of the mountain there, and she would bring her little lammies in, put them behind the stove in the kitchen. If they were just newborns, She loved working out in the fields. And,
I think that's his whole family, isn't
Yeah.
it? Just everyone in his family.
then she would, like say, if the preacher didn't come for Sunday, she would do the preaching. Then she'd play the organ.
All right, I think we'll wrap it up here then.
Okay.
Just
I enjoyed it.
uh
I may have talked too much about me.
that's what it's about. It's about you and your stories. Getting wisdom from you. Like I told you, you're like the most stoic person I've ever met.
Well, thank you.
You know? We always think about men being the stoic ones,
Yeah.
but it's definitely you. You're the stoic, steadfast. And you're like the rock of the whole family. That whole big
Thank you.
that whole big
Thank you.
picture over there. You're the rock for all of it.
I had some good backings.
Well, I think that's because it started with you.
Mm.
I think that's why. You know, what does it say? You gotta have a solid cornerstone
Mm.
for a foundation, and you definitely
Yeah.
gave us that.
I'm glad that I was blessed. Like say, there's so many times that I could have disappeared. I could have gotten bad injury or died because I was in a bad auto accident. Fred and Eileen. But Fred, he was just tore up.
You're tough.
But yeah, like I say, I've survived. God's kept me here for some reason. Just I had this big family.
Do this podcast today.
You'll be remembered.
Yeah. Do you think that's like one of the things that you think about more now? Is how you'll be remembered or if you'll be remembered?
I've thought about it, and not just that I'm remembered by pleasing Jesus in any way that I could or any way that I was able to do.
Yeah. I think it's like I've thought about it myself lately. Is like the ripple when you drop a stone in the water, you see the ripples, and they just keep going, and you can't see how far they keep going.
Yes.
And I think we lose sight of that because we're so caught up in our daily thing, we only see what's around us, and we forget
Yeah.
that our ripples can,
And
yours come to me,
Yeah.
and then they go to Nate, then they get passed on like that.
yeah, I've had, I don't know, little incidents that happen now, or names. I was going up here getting books, and the first book I got was about a little boy named Teddy. I said, no, I don't know if I can read this or not.
Yeah. Somebody writing your books.
Then the next book I got was about the coal miners, like the shack houses. It was a story. It was written in a story setting, but it was about how the families lived in these little communes in
Yeah.
the coal mine.
You definitely know about that, huh?
Yeah.
Growing up in Morgantown.
Yeah, Well, yeah, but that was the next book I got.
And we can all thank coal miners for pepperoni rolls.
Yeah. Then the next book I got, it had a girl named Eileen. That's my sister's name, and a boy named Terrence. And
Just
it's been,
all these books you keep picking up
Yeah,
are tying straight into you, huh? That's pretty funny.
yeah.
I would say coincidence, but I
No,
don't think so.
no, it's just. But
Normally I wrap up with whatever quote I send out for that day, but since we got my phone right there, I don't know what my
Yes.
quote of the day is. Do you have a favorite quote or verse of the Bible or something?
no,
All right, I'll close with my favorite verse then. It's a society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they know they shall never sit. And then I always
Yeah,
say,